ayes have it.
Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us on the program. I am Dennis Adegunloye. Following last week's nomination by President Muhammadu Buhari of 7 nominees for confirmation as ministers, the Senate in the week confirmed all the nominees, saying that 1 year is sufficient time for them to make a meaningful impact in the final year of the current administration.
The ministers designate are Henry Iko from Abia State, former Commissioner for Industry, Science and Technology; Umana Akwa Ibom State, Director of Oil and Gas Free Zone Authority; Joseph Nkama, Commissioner for Industry in Ebonyi State; and Goodluck Opia, Commissioner for Petroleum Resources in Imo State. Others include Omar Ibrahim El Yakub, Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters, House of Representatives; Ademola Adegoroye, Special Assistant to the Ondo State Governor; and Odum Udi from Rivers State, former Chairman, Abua Odua Local Government Area of Rivers State. They are expected to step into the shoes of those who stepped down. Senators demanded to know how they will contribute to job creation, industrialization, more revenue generation, and improved security.
This country, this great country, can build modular refinery in most of the Niger Delta state. We need to take advantage of that.
Science degree in business education, specializing in management. I also have a master's degree in corporate governance obtained from Leeds Metropolitan University in the United Kingdom.
The president needs us to succeed. And of course, Nigerians look up to us to ensure their safety, their security.
The nominees also expressed concern on the lingering ASUU strike.
And we know that from the same source, the same national pulse, there are several contending interests seeking attention from the national pulse. My advice would be that government and ASUU will have to come to a compromise.
I'm not blaming them. I'm not casting aspersions. I'm not saying they don't have a right to disagree with government. But in doing this, the interest of Nigeria, the interest of our children, the interest of the city, of the system, must always, be thought about.
In any capacity, helping Mr. President to execute his programs faithfully.
Let me welcome the delegation from Akwa Ibom State that are here to give him the kind of moral support that is necessary. We have in this delegation the former chairman of the Senate Committee on Rules and Business, the controversial Senator Ita Inan, on loan to the executive arm of government, and Honorable Ikominima, who served with me in the House of Representatives in 1999. You are all welcome, and you have the floor.
Again, I earned the West African School Certificate, Division 1. Incidentally, I was the best graduating student in my state. That same year, I was admitted to read economics in the University of Calabar. By 1980, I graduated with a BSc Honors in Economics, second class upper division. On account of my performance, I was awarded the University of Calabar Foundation Scholarship. I then went ahead to do the mandatory National Youth Service in Benue State. In August 1980, I taught in a school, Gaji City High School, Abunde Lese. I completed my national service tour in August 1981. And on my return from national service, I was employed as a lecturer in the then School of Basic Studies to prepare students who were writing the Interim Joint Matriculation Board examination of the Ahmadu Bello University. I rose to the position of Lecturer 1 and then was employed as a principal budget office in the government of Akwa Ibom State. I rose through the ranks, and by 1998, I was promoted the substantive director, state director of budget in Akwa Ibom State. In 2000, I was appointed permanent secretary and assigned to the budget office. This was during the administration of Governor Victor Attar. Based on my performance in the running of the budget office, he invited me to join his cabinet as the Honorable Commissioner for Finance. This was in 2003. I served as Honorable Commissioner for Finance from 2003 to 2007. I also was appointed secretary to the state government by the succeeding administration and served as secretary to the state government of Akwa Ibom State from 2007 to 2013, when I resigned that position for political reasons, and then positioned myself to contest the governorship elections in 2015 on the platform of the APC. The president then considered me for the assignments as managing director of the Oil and Gas Free Zones Authority. This was in 2016. I must say that I have initiated a number of reforms, have led an administration in that agency which has been transformative. I want to say that these initiatives paid off handsomely, and it was not surprising that my agency, the Oil and Gas Free Zones Authority, was rated as the best agency out of 44 agencies which were surveyed by the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, PEBEC, on the implementation of Order 01, Executive Order 01 on transparency and efficiency in the business environment. We also took steps to upgrade our websites in line with global standards, and just recently, a few weeks ago, I had the pleasure of inviting my minister to come and inaugurate digital platforms for our operations in finance and registry. So I have also had the privilege of working with the Committee of the Senate on Trade and Investments, and I'd like to very humbly thank them for their support. These achievements would not have been possible. So I'd like to very humbly thank Mr. President and the distinguished senators for according me this privilege. I thank you.
want to express our profound gratitude to Mr. President for this nomination. Mr. President and my esteemed colleagues, this is not one nominee I will request you to take a bow. This is a nominee that is ready to sell himself anywhere in the world. I've had the privilege of working with him in the cabinet of His Excellency Godswill Obodokbabe. I took over from him as the Commissioner of Finance in Akwa Ibom. And I'm happy to be given this opportunity to say something good about this nominee. Because this nominee was instrumental to my nomination as the Commissioner of Finance. This nominee also guided me, which actually aided my productivity in that office. Mr. President, I became a Commissioner of Finance at the age of 32. And when I was nominated, there were contentions that I was too young to occupy that office. But I was inspired by him as my predecessor in office. Mr. President, if you look through his CV, you will see that he's a man of excellence, impeccable character, and a performer at whatever disguise, whatever level. He made a 2-1 in economics. I read economics and I made a 2-1. If you look at his WAEC, he has an authentic certificate with about 6 or 7 alphas. At whatever position he finds himself, this nominee excels. And one thing that guides him is that he leaves every single office and platform better than he meets it. So I have no doubt in my mind that this nominee will make Akwa Ibom State proud. I have no doubt in my mind this nominee will justify his nomination by Mr. President. And I have no doubt in my mind that Obong Omana Okonomana will excel as a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So make no mistake about it. Let me thank this chamber. Let me thank this chamber and thank you, Mr. Chairman, because I could listen to you very well. When the nominee was presenting himself, you were very attentive. You're also an intelligent man. So I believe that the nominee before you is one of Akwa Ibom exports to Nigeria. So I urge this chamber because I know you are all very impressed with this nominee. I know you are all very impressed with this nominee. So I urge this chamber, Mr. President. I urge this chamber to please kindly approve this nomination so that Mr. Okonomana will have the opportunity to support Mr. President in Mr. President's completion agenda. I congratulate my master and I wish you well. May God bless this chamber.
As is customary, I'd like to thank Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of our Armed Forces, President Muhammadu Buhari, for this nomination. Mr. President, before I continue, I also want to thank Senator Akman for this very brilliant testimony he just delivered. Like I mentioned earlier, with respect to the other nominee, Akman knows this nominee better than anyone here in this chamber. Mr. President, I take it, Mr. President, that there was no such comment. Mr. President, we told where I come from, Mr. President, we have a little proverb that no matter how long it takes, his Tamara one day be able to mention his father's name. This nominee, described as Akwa Ibom's finest, I like to describe him as the South finest. For so long, the man has been shut down.
Not Nigerian finance.
But thank God. It's never too late, Mr. President. It's never too late. Yes, we may have enjoyed the services as MD of the Free Trade Zone. But I can assure you, Mr. President, given my relationship with him, and I've known him right from when he was Secretary of State Government in Akwa Ibom State, and in my interaction with him as a co-member of the South Leadership Forum, Mr. President, I have no doubt, like Senator Akpan has said, that this man not only will he excel in the Federal Executive Council, but he will add value beyond measure. And Nigerians will come to regret that they only having the services for only 10 months. But the good news, Mr. President, is that APC is coming back again. And at the time when we have a new president, given the stellar performance he's going to be giving to us, he will not be preparing himself for a further appointment to serve in the Federal Executive Council. So, Mr. President, I want to thank our colleagues. I know, as in 2019, it is not every nominee you ask to take a bow and go. Just like Akman has said, this is one nominee. Even if I had a chance to keep him here for 2 hours, I know he will excel even beyond measure. But be that as it may, I want to be on record that I, Senator Vioma Agege, I am requesting that this man be given the honor and the privilege. I haven't answered a question or two to take a bow and go. I support this nomination. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, I am not from the South, neither am I from Akwa Ibom. But I wish to stand here and say the nominee before you or before us here is somebody I met in 2015. And apart from all the encomiums that were showered on him by people closer to him from his own state or region, I think I would say that this is one Nigerian that is a bridge builder. He is not only friendly with his immediate environment or the citizens of his state. He has cut across this country. And I found him to be of impeccable character. And I would not hesitate to recommend him to this Senate without further delay for him to take a bow and go.
I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to say one or two things about Mr. Umana. My friend, my brother, Senator Albert Bassi said Mr. Umana is one of the finest of Akwa Ibom. But I want to add, Mr. President, that this is one of the finest Nigerians I've ever met. This man is a man with very great capacity to do so many things. He's a God-fearing person and highly intelligent, highly energetic. I've not seen him in the last 4 or 5 years, but I recall my encounter with him on quite a number of occasions when I was in the media. And I recall when we came to Akwa Ibom to take a look at some of the projects under Governor Victor Atta. From there, Mr. President, we saw in him the great talent in this man. And above all, he's a man who loves people, cutting across all the divides. I think this is one of the best appointments that I've seen so far made because of my knowledge of whom this man is.
A lot have been said about him, but I think it's just good for some of us who are not from Niger Delta and from Akwa Ibom to add our voice to the fact that, Mr. President, this is one of the best Nigerians I've ever met. And I'm not in doubt that he's going to perform excellently well. I think there's no need to ask him any question, Mr. President, going by his antecedent, his record of service. Quite a number of projects that they executed when he was Director of Budget, when he was Secretary to Government, and at the time when he was Commissioner of Finance. All those things I monitor. The airport, the golf course, the tunnel, the water tunnel in Akwa Ibom. The beauty of Akwa Ibom State today, the history of Akwa Ibom cannot be written without talking about Umana. Mr. President, I stake my integrity to say this is one of the best Nigerians I've ever met. I so submit, Mr. President.
The 1 year that you will be in office is a long period because it depends on what we do. You could be there for 1 year, but your impact could be there like you've been there for 10 years. View of this Senate that the nominee takes a bow or takes the next round of questions? Takes a bow.
The senator representing the Federal Capital Territory, Philip Aduda, once again raised the constitutional point of order, stressing that a minister should be appointed from the Federal Capital Territory.
That FCT should be recognized and accorded that right whereby a minister can be appointed from the FCT to represent the FCT at the Federal Executive Council.
And as plenary, the Senate reaffirmed its commitment to investigate petitions against former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad.
On Wednesday, 22nd of June 2022, Senate mandated its Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters to investigate the petitions written by some justices of the Supreme Court against Justice Tanko Ibrahim Muhammad. 4 days after, Justice Tanko resigned on health grounds. Senate at plenary described his career as meritorious.
Urge the Senate to wish the Honorable Chief Justice well, following many years of meritorious service to the nation, and to pray for his good health.
But will his resignation stop the proposed investigation by the Senate? A motion by Chairman Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, Senator Payemi Bamidele, says the probe will go on.
However, this development will not prevent the committee from going ahead with its assignment in the quest to find a probable lasting solution to the matter.
To interface with the relevant stakeholders in the 3 arms of government and collect aggregate views and positions on the short-term, medium-term and long-term measures needed to decisively address the crisis facing the judiciary.
Senate resolved to send a delegation to London to visit former Deputy President of the Senate, Ike Ekweremadu, and to engage the British High Commission to ensure justice is sustained in his trial. Senator Ibrahim Shekarau defected from the APC to the NNPP. APC now has 64 senators, PDP 38, NNPP 4, APGA 1, YPP 1 and Labour Party 1.
Well, that concludes this week's edition of the program. Thanks as always for your time. I am Dennis Adigunloye. Bye for now.